Okay, hello there. As we just sort of been checking Wowhead, like every day or every other day, we get the news that um, some changes have been made, some nerfs and buffs and stuff. So, fair, just hit record and go over them. Druids and stuff. What, they changed talents? They actually changed? No, this just takes you to the talents. Okay. So, they changed. Oh, okay, so you can just see the changes. All right. Instead of 14 percent of spell power, it's 34% of spell power. And 40-yard range instead of 15. Like that was only 15-yard range. Okay, that just seems like an oversight. Like they shouldn't have done that. Shares a cooldown with feral charge. Okay. I was kind of wondering that. I thought maybe Skull Bash was just a cat ability. But maybe it's a cat and bear ability, so that you can just charge and bear and get the lockout and stuff too. I don't know. And wild growth changed to, man, it was 15 yards too. Okay, yeah, I see. With the same, wait, yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, I was thinking that was the other like hill they got or whatever, but okay, okay. Hunter, lone wolf, 10% reduced damage. I mean, what's the percentage of hunter overall damage that is the pet? I don't know. It may only be like 5 or 10. So this just might be like, if your pet deals 10% of your overall damage, then this is just a 5% buff. But like I said before, your pet's dead in a lot of raiding situations anyway. So you probably just go this. So it's still just like a 15% increase whenever your pet can't live through the fight anyway. Ooh. Okay, I actually like slash hate the fact that the sniper training crit increase is being reduced here from 30 to 10%. Because I think this was just the given. Like, you just had to take this. Like, it was almost too good compared to the other runes. And I remember my video, like, going over hunter runes, going like, oh, look, melee hunter's a thing. And then, like, the last one I read was this. And it's just like, no, you can't do melee hunter. Not if you're getting 30% crit on your shots. But maybe this now puts in line. Melee hunter might be back on the table. So I kind of hate and like it at the same time. Like if I was a hunter, I'd kind of might like the fact that it's just opening up flexibility here. Rewind time, going to 30-second cooldown. I actually think this probably makes sense because the changes that they made to the mage healing runes. I don't know if you've seen them. That information came out quite a few days ago, but it makes it to where, like, if you have a beacon on somebody, like if you've cast the heal, then you get a debuff that makes it to where you can't ice block, and your ice and fire spells deal like 50% less damage or whatever. Right. So this being sort of your only defensive tool maybe makes sense. 30-second cooldown though. I don't know. This might make it though to where you just take all the mage healing things, and instead of actually even doing arcade damage, you just heal all the time. Right? That could be a thing. Oh no, lots of paladin changes. Oh god. Oh god. No, I'm a paladin. Beacon of light. Beacon of Light was a 60-yard range? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Crusader Strike. Crusader Strike is now going from a 4-second cooldown to a 6-second cooldown. Mana regain stays the same, so you're not only like you're losing 50% damage on this ability, but you're also losing 50% of your mana gain. So I guess if both were an issue, like in their testing, this is kind of just the easiest solution to that. But if it was just the damage and we're getting blocked the mana, that kind of sucks. And if it was just the mana, then we're getting blocked the damage for no. I don't know. Of course, we haven't been playing with it, but 4-second cooldown did seem crazy to me. Like that seemed way too low. So I'm not really hating this change, but Divine Sacrifice gets added the text. Divine Sacrifice cannot be used while you are under the effects of Blessing of Protection, Divine Shield, Divine Protection, and prevents you from being targeted by those abilities while it is active. So it just stops you from bubbling the 30% damage taken. That's reasonable, right? And like you can just Beacon of Light. Heck, you can Beacon of Light yourself and just heal. And this it only affects party too, so it had to be a lot of damage, right, for it to break. Like really heavy raid damage situations where you didn't even care about it. The only thing that sucks but like it breaks and then you're at like 30% health. Well, at that point you could bubble and stop you from taking any more raid damage to heal yourself up and try to get kind of caught back up. Martyrdom's getting a lot of changes here. Okay. Changes from up to 3 targets to your target. Lose health to 10% of damage inflicted. You gain mana equal to 10% of the damage you take from this seal. See, this is the thing that I noticed a lot of people didn't realize when they read this rune to start with. It was just 2% of all damage you took was going to be given as mana to your party. Basically, like if you were main tanking, you just have a group of like 4 casters with you. They could not right? Essentially, like it would just help so much. Now it's just 10% of the damage from the seal. So it's 10% of the damage you deal, but then 10% of that is mana. So it's a 10% of 10%. It's going to be like fucking 1 mana or something like that to everybody in your party every time you attack. That portion of it's probably useless then. And then of course you take 10% more damage. Or the damage is up to 10% of the damage when you judge it from 2%. I hate that I can't pan down and go over the seal as I'm hovering it. But yeah, this not being AoE anymore. So the option of getting rid of not taking consecration and taking this instead, that's no longer an option, right? So your first 11 points to tank have to go into holy to get consecration unless they change the tree or change something there. So I hate this. I guess we'll just have to play with this and see. That seems like really weird kind of change, because who's using martyrdom then? Is martyrdom just that good? 30% of your weapon damage on every attack versus like Seal of Command having a 7.5 whatever proc per minute. Probably. It's probably better than command, but uh, you have to take it over like Divine Storm or something. Like, I don't know. Like, this seems weird. This almost seems like it shouldn't be there because it's what it's competing with on that rune slot. Is like too, the other stuff's too good. Right. Beacon of Light. Beacon of Light rune. Okay, let's just rehash. Causes you. It just added the word to. They just fixed the typo. It's just, yeah, okay. Hand of Reckoning. So this is just over, like, repeats of the same stuff. It wasn't as many changes, but this here, the Crusader Strike thing and this Martyrdom change. I'm not sure on the Martyrdom change there. I get maybe it was just way too much AoE damage, which paladins already do like quite a bit of AoE damage with Divine Storm and Consecration now and stuff like that. I imagine you could do a lot of AoE damage. Priest, Circle of Healing. Okay, it was a 15-yard range. Going to 40. It's spell efficiency is going way up. And, well, its mana cost is going up by 7%. From 21% of base mana to 28% of base mana. Still a 6-second cooldown. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more healing. And that 15-yard radius is just way too short. You just can't heal people in raids with that. Even in freaking 5-man dungeons, people are standing further from 15 yards apart from each other. You know, just if you're, you know, you got the tank on the guy, but you also have like a hunter at his max range. Like, you know, you can't heal them. Like, so it makes sense. Strength of Soul. So Strength of Soul is the one that reduces the duration of weakened soul on the target every time you heal them. And in addition, targets of your powered shield will gain rage from taking damage despite the damage being absorbed. And Righteous Fury will trigger from damage absorbed by your powered shield as if it were a heal. So this allows warriors and druids to continue to gain rage and paladins to continue to gain mana. So yeah, that's pretty good. Because yeah, you can never actually ever cast a shield on on your tank. Like if you did, you were kind of trolling. Like maybe in the very rare circumstances of like, oh shit, you saw the tank go to 1% HP and you threw a shield on him to try to, you know, let him have time to catch another heal to get back up there. But then you still you still might run into the thing where like, oh, he didn't, you know, the payoff of like he doesn't gain rage from getting hit is negated by the fact that if he gets hit again, he's going to die. So, you know, there's that trade-off. So, but yeah, Rogue. Which Rogue? I don't get this. A lot of the Rogue changes. I think I mentioned that before. Energy cost being reduced from 55 to 45. I don't think we could see the energy cost before when we were looking at runes, or at least I didn't notice this energy cost before. This is the bleed stacking one. So yeah, 55 energy. It would actually be kind of hard to stack, I guess. It would take you a while. Rogues don't just recover a crap ton of energy like it's steady. You know, it's a consistent resource, but it's not like crazy fast. There are times as a rogue like you're just spammy buttons waiting for energy. So, you know, sure that makes sense. Shaman. I'm sure Shaman's gonna have a lot of changes because they still need a lot of changes. Ancestral guidance. That typo where they didn't put party members in it makes sense to add that in there because that was weird. Healing Rain Rune. I don't. Okay, what? I'm not sure. Shield Mastery. Oh, 8% of your max mana. Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I was wondering that because Shamans don't just have a lot of block chance. Went over that too in my other videos, that I was worried that their block chance just wouldn't be enough to really sustain this mana, but to also sustain the stacking armor value. Like if you did just happen to not block, uh, get like an unlucky RNG spree of not blocking, you don't gain mana, but then you also lose your armor buff and you just die, right? But yeah, that makes sense. Molten Blast with Blast Rune instead of Smash Rune. They just changed the name. Okay. Up to 0 enemies. So the thought here is, obviously it's not going to be 0, but I guess it's capped. You know, maybe it only hits 3 or 4 enemies in front of you, so you can't just tank everything. Guess it makes sense if otherwise you could really just pull crap tons of stuff and just be smashing them down. Maybe there was a problem just in like a PV sort of AoE farm problem where they just drop like Earthbind Totem and then kite just a massive pack of mobs around, like just spamming this into them all while they're slowed, because it's instant cast. Oh no, it has a 3-second cast. A 3-second cast? How are you getting this off with spell pushback? I just assumed it was instant cast. Huh. Interesting note here. It says requires cloth leather mail plate. Are they going to give shamans the ability to wear plate? That'd be cool, I guess. Like, whatever. I'm sure that's just... They probably all say that. Right? So it doesn't matter. I mean, the other runes for other classes... Yeah. Yeah. Even priest up here says plate, so okay. That's it. But yeah, I don't... Three said that it's cooldown. So it's a 3-second cast with a cooldown? I don't know. That just seems really weird. Shamanistic Rage. Your parties within 40 yards will also receive 10% of the mana you receive this way. So a little mana sharing. You know, maybe you get enough mana sharing between the classes that Shadow Priest will actually have mana. Because they haven't gotten anything. So, we'll see. We'll see. We have Earth. Reducing the shaman's threat gain by 50%. I mean, the gain of it, right? Going from 100% increased threat to 50% increased threat. So I guess they were just threat monsters. So they actually kind of have to make you care about threat a little bit. Again, coming here to Molten Blast. See, here it says Molten Blast is instant cast. I guess the rune. Okay, putting the rune on your item takes 3 seconds for you to put the rune on. Okay. But yeah. Instant cast with a 6-second cooldown. So maybe they were just AoE farming Godsend, kiting around the grounding totem, spamming this into a group while being like a tank, tanking a lot less damage. And then the shamanistic rage change, which we've already read. Warlock. Lake of Fire rune. Gain the Lake of Fire ability. It's just taking away the Lake of Fire ability text. I guess it was confusing that people thought you were gaining a new ability when it was just altering your Rain of Fire. Makes sense. Again, doing the same thing with that Master Channeler thing. Metamorphosis. The only change highlighted here is going from 100% increased threat down to 50% increased threat. Same thing as the Shaman. Okay. Again, removing Shadow Bolt Volley ability. That was confusing to me. Because I was like, oh, so this changes your Shadow Bolt to read Shadow Bolt Volley. But it doesn't. It just augments your Shadow Bolt. Like, it doesn't actually change anything. And warriors. Warriors are getting consumed by rage. Is changing from a 25% melee damage bonus to 20% melee for 12 seconds or 12 swings after hitting 80 rage. Furious Thunder now deals 50% increased threat. Okay. Cool. Warriors getting some AoE threat generation. That's, something they've always kind of struggled with. And, yeah, I was kind of wondering, just, Warriors just already being the de facto best DPS in the game, like how much runes were going to change it to like catch other classes up. Warriors didn't just get like a ton of new abilities like the other classes did, but they just got these flat damage increasers. So kind of think, because other classes needed to gain 100% more damage, right? They were doing like 800 DPS to a warrior's 1600 DPS, right? So if warriors gain 25% more damage and stuff, like they're getting up to doing like 2000 DPS. So your classes that were doing 800 DPS now are having to do like 2.5 times the damage. Like they're having to get like 150 DPS increasers to even equal what warriors are getting and stuff. Like, and I don't know. Some of the other classes, it does seem like they're getting a lot of damage, but I'm still fully expecting warriors to be the best DPS in the game once geared out at max level. Like they won't be at level 25 or 40 or 50, but once you get to 60 and stuff, I fully expect that meta to stick, that they'll be the best. It's just that they won't be twice the damage. Hopefully, like, if they're doing 2,000 damage and other classes are doing in between that 1,500 to 1,700 range, maybe you don't feel just terrible taking them. Well, actually, you still would feel pretty... If the class is only doing 75% of the damage, you wouldn't want to take them still. So... I don't know. we don't know till we get there, but Warriors do seem like they'll still be really strong. So this kind of makes sense, and maybe they'll have to keep getting nerfs, and other classes keep getting buffs to get there eventually. So but that's it. These are all the changes so far. I think got some more ideas in the pipeline, so I'll be posting some more stuff soon. So just keep an eye on that, and I'll talk to you later. Happy Thanksgiving.